So this is it, the moment of truth. We're back at Chris's workshop and he's about to show me the world's craziest enduro bike. Let's go for it, Chris. That's insane! What's up guys, my name is Max and this is 999 Laser. In this video we're going to be transforming this here KTM 690 into the craziest enduro bike the world has ever seen. And yes, we will be taking it off-road. If you want to see how we're going to squeeze a 1000cc engine into this little beauty, make sure you join us for the entire ride. But first, let's back things up a little. So here at 999 Laser, we try to bring you incredible stories from the dirt bike world, provide content that is something a little different to the norm. And I think this one fits both of those categories. This video slash bonkers idea is being brought to you by the awesome guys at Muck Off. You might know them as giants from the mountain bike world, but they are also massive supporters of the Moto C. They're even sponsoring a Supercross team next season with Justin Brayton. They've got a mega lineup of products to clean, protect and lube your dirt bike machines. So next time you're stocking up on your essentials, give them a look. I'll put a link in the description down below. Support the guys that support us and we might just get more videos like this in the future. On with this story. If you can remember, a couple of months ago we hooked up with a dude named Damo Hirst. You remember the wheelie champ with an insane 1000cc RMZ. Well, in that video, two things were missing from the story. Firstly, we never got to meet the mad genius that built the bonkers RMZ 1000. And secondly, we never got around to switching the slicks for knobblies and actually taking the world's craziest dirt bike off-road. And boy, did you guys let me know about that in the comments. So today, we are on a mission to put that right. I'm currently on the way to see a guy called Chris Thorpe, and he might just be the world's craziest bike builder. If Hollywood ever made a movie about a time-traveling motorcycle, you can bet your bottom dollar that Chris would play the Doc Brown role. Chris built that original RMZ 1000 that is now owned by Damo Hirst, who we've already met. But after that first video was released, we knew that we had to find out more about this mad mechanical genius. So we got in touch with Chris to talk with him about some of his future projects. And lucky enough for us, he had just decided to do something crazy with his own pride and joy. This KTM 690 Enduro R. Last time I got slammed for not actually taking the RMZ off-road. But Chris assures me that this new 1000cc beast is being built for one thing and one thing only. And that's to shred some dirt. Chris is on a mission to turn this thing into a monster off-road machine. But I think it's only fair we give the standard version a little ride first. So I've never actually ridden one of these 690s before, so Chris said that it was only right that before he gets chopping up this beautiful specimen, I'd go out and give her a ride, and that way we can give you guys a real before and after test. So let's get to it. So I've just sprung the 690 out to the hills here to show you guys that she is indeed a living, breathing machine. But have no fear, when Chris has finished the build, we will be taking her to some more extreme terrain. Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway, darkness. Okay, so here I am on board Chris's KTM 690 Enduro R. This is like a dual sport machine. KTM say it's designed to ride from your house to the track or the off-road facility of your choice. So I'm just going to give her a little test here today before Chris starts chopping her up and doing his thing. Bury me, carry me, far beneath, fire and water me, watching me, everything. I can see what he means. She's all power, usable. It's not like a 450 motocross bike, she doesn't rip your arms out, it's not a scary ride. I think Chris is after something, let her in, get to dark pumping. Down to the river. Yeah, so after a few minutes on this bad boy KTM 690, I can see what Chris is looking for. It's fun, don't get me wrong. You open up the power like that, hasn't quite cut the mustard. So let's go meet the mechanical genius, the mad professor behind this monstrous project. I see how the hell it's going to fit a 1000cc engine in this GSX-R1000. Let's go! So we found him then, the mechanical genius that builds these insane bikes.
So I've always sort of built bikes myself because I could never afford anybody to build them for me. So we started out building myself out of the box. I think the first bike I built was I think it was an XL 250 Honda, trail bike, out of a box, and it went from there really.
And what's your background then? Are you an engineer, or where do you have the
builder,
knowledge and the know-how?
Engineer, and it's all my spare time
tinkering in here.
Making stuff, yeah, sure, yeah.
So what was your first kind of bonkers build then, the first one that you would say, oh, this is a bit different?
First one was, as far as these sort of bikes go, was probably, I came across, for the right kind of money, a complete rolling chassis. I think it was a K5 GSX-R 600 Suzuki. So Suzuki road bike, 4-cylinder engine, and I put it in a 250 motocrosser. Bit of cutting and shutting, and we got it in.
And that was for yourself, or was that for someone else?
That was for myself, and I had a long summer playing on that. Yeah. Having a good time riding out with the lads.
So what kind of smile did that put on your face?
That was pretty good, pretty good. I actually give myself tennis elbow wheeling it. You had to sort of wrench it and clutch it up in about second gear, but it was fun. And it sort of stemmed from there, and the idea worked. And then someone said, oh, you could put a GSX-R in that same frame. It's the same. So we thought we'd try that, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't so simple.
Nothing fit.
And then just explain the process since then. How many have you made, and how did the evolution go?
The speed that they pull's quite impressive. So you're always frightened of something letting go. Yeah. So then they started evolving from there, started making my own frames, putting better wheels on. We got the Talon wheels, put the Talon wheels on, because that was the thing you're always frightened about, whether the wheels were going to explode at speed, because you're putting so much power through them, and it progressed from there really. Everyone I build, try and refine it a little bit more, try and get rid of its faults. I think the first one didn't have any steering lock on it, and then everyone I built after that, just modify it ever so slightly to just get it a little bit how you want it.
Well, we said earlier, if you're an adrenaline junkie, if you like your bikes, especially motocrossers and people who are thrill seekers, once you ride one of these, one of your creations, it's kind of like instant, you're in love, it's done.
And a lot of people, this is what happened, a lot of people say a CR500 is like the pinnacle of dirt bikes. And it is to a certain extent on a short track. Fantastic bit of kit. I must have had 6 or 7 of them. Even the KX500 is another bike I worship. Fantastic fun. But the problem is, I think when you start racing one of those against like a Yamaha R1, you end up blowing pistons and things go wrong. Although you're staying with him, up to like 100 miles an hour on the track, of course, it's a great thing, but you end up blowing pistons and it gets expensive. So I was trying to work out a way of doing it affordable, and then this idea came along with Suzuki engine, and it seems to be working well. It does. But you've probably got maybe 2 or 3 times more power than a CR500.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier.
It's a little bit heavier bike, but not too heavy.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, when I did that drag race with Damo before, legitimately the fastest I've ever gone on a dirt bike, and I've been racing my entire life, and then just to see him come past me like I was standing still, it's just like, this is mental. What you built is absolutely crazy.
I think you get a lot of people going, well, 450 Honda's quick up to 80 miles an hour, and it is. It is. And
but you get to 70, 80, and that's it.
Yeah, but they're rapid up to there, and then it just tapers off. And then the guy that can't really ride is coming past you on his 600 road bike.
Gear, first, second gear.
So the beauty with the GSX-R1000, you could be in 3rd gear and give the clutch a yank, and it'll just sit up. It'll just sit up on the back wheel, and it'll wheelie as far as you dare, really.
How difficult is it to build one of these? I know you're doing it out at the garage, really. It's a proper shed-built machine. How difficult is it? What's the process?
It's tricky. Everything's got to be in line. You get a lot of stuff that shouldn't fit that you've got to make fit.
Yeah, because we'll get onto this in a minute, but this engine just got to fit in something like that. How does that happen?
You just got to...
It doesn't look possible when you look at it.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
So tell us about the new project then, with this KTM 690 and this unit here.
So I got a guy came to me, I can't remember when it was, maybe last year, beginning of this year, I can't remember now, and he said, I've got a 690 KTM, which I've had from day dot. He says, I just like that bike, but I want more power. I've blown up 2 engines already. He says, can you put me one of your engines, can you put a GSX-R1000 in a 690 KTM? If you bought an iframes, we could make it work. And he went, no, I want it in my bike. I tried talking him out of it. Yeah. I thought, he won't come back now, you know. And he did. He said, right, what engine do I want? What year do I want? What engine do I want? What do I need to bring you? He ended up bringing everything to me to build this bike.
And you was like, oh, now I've got to put this jigsaw together somehow.
Yeah, it was a bit of a bind when he turned up, because I thought, I'm actually going to make it work now. And I told him on the phone I could do it. So we ended up, he dropped all the bits off and ran. And I made it work, and it worked better than it should do, because I'm always struggling with fuel tank size. The KTM 690, as everybody knows, the fuel tank's in the subframe. It's kind of all, got it all going on ready, sort of, for the conversion. And I did his, and I think he's had quite a bit of success with it.
Was he using that off-road, or was that a super motard?
He was super motard racing it, and he wanted an engine that just wouldn't self-destruct. He wanted a small bike with big power, and that's where it came from. So then I thought, I've got a 690 KTM here, and it goes well. It's tractable.
So you're using yours for green laning?
So I'm using, this bike's like a green laner, trail ridey bike. Fantastic bike. It trail rides really well, but you don't come back off it excited and giddy.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the same feeling as the...
No, it doesn't give you that CR500 feeling.
Yeah. We think it's possible to fit this engine in this bike. Yeah. But we don't know how it's going to perform off-road, so that's kind of the grand experiment here.
I think we're going to have to get like the biggest, heaviest springs in the suspension and whatnot, because we're packing a bit more weight with that engine.
So just talk us through what you're expecting the build process to be on this project then, kind of what are the different stages and steps to get this done?
Really a question of take everything out that we don't need. And I'm going to try and reuse the standard exhaust, the standard fuel tank. I'm going to try and get the plastics back over it all. It's obviously been a lot wider, it's going to take a bit of stuff and in, a bit of shoe on and in. But I think it'll give us that feeling that we're chasing, you know. Usually you're using your own frames for this. I usually build a frame out of scratch.
But on this build?
But on this build, we're going to stay with the geometry of the 690 KTM, and everything's going to be stock about that. Although we're going to have to run heavier suspension. Yeah. And we may have to lift the back up a little bit to get some ground clearance. I think it'll work really well, and I think the key is to get the right kind of rider on and make it grip. So
pretty much the crux of it is, you've got this 690 Enduro. It's a decent bike, but it doesn't give you the buzz that you want. Give you that. So you're just cranking it up to 11. Let's go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just need that adrenaline to hit. But at the same time, you want to be sat on a trail bike or a dirt bike. I kind of figured you want that seating position, but you want that superbike power. And that's sort of where it all came from, really. We can't wait to see it happen, so I think I've taken enough of your time here today. Let's get in a workshop and get this build started. So take it away, Chris.
So the build is underway. First things first, Chris had to strip the bike and get that 690 engine out of there. Just look at the size comparison between the two. Somehow Chris is going to squeeze this beast into that bike. The first step is to size things up and see what modifications need to be made to the frame. Then it's time to start chopping. As you can see, Chris had to make plenty of space for this monstrous power unit.
Just a latest update, how we're getting along with the KTM 690 Enduro. We've managed to get the back of the engine fitted into the rear mounts on the frame. Bit of heavy modification, we made it fit. Suspension's been sent away to some good friends of ours, Jason at TB's Motorcycles in Morley, who's looking after us with the suspension build. He's got his number one mechanic, Andy, on the job. So we're going to fit some heavy duty springs in the front forks and on the rear shocker to help it do its jumps and make sure it lands alright without exploding. That's about it, just for the time being. We've got the front mounts still to do for the engine. Got to mock them up and make them. And then it's radiator time. We've sent the radiator off to get modified at K2 Engineering at Thorpe. A lad called Dominic, he's chopping that up and modifying it to fit Suzuki pipes. As soon as I get that back, we'll mock that up as well.
Week 2 of the build, and it's time to get the rads sorted.
So we've got Dominic here welding the radiator up. Bit of a problem, all the radiator ports are at the wrong angles. So we've chopped them and spun them. And there you go. We're done. Thanks a lot, fella.
No problem.
We'll see you with the exhaust next time.
By week 3, things were really starting to come together.
Okay, quick update on the bike. We've got it mocked up before final welding, putting brackets in and such like. It's coming together. Had the radiator modified. Suspension's been completely overhauled. It's fitted together quite well. Just got the exhaust headache to do next, and then we're somewhere there.
So a month after our first visit, the beast is coming along very nicely. This thing is going to be nuts. Chris is now adding some personal touches. His bikes are dubbed the Ravens, and this will be the Raven KTM. After that, the frame was taken to get powder coated. This thing is going to look oh so fresh.
Got the frame built finally, got it painted, got the engine cleaned off, been to a couple of guys that always look after us for parts. Good to see Martin at Malcolm Rathmell Sport. Got a great set of tyres off him, heavy duty chain, set of grips, bit of TB'd at Morley, hence the jacket and the hat, and a load of bits. I think we're about ready to go. That's pretty much it. It's a question of fitting it all together, and let's see what we can come up with. Right, back again. Done a few late nights on this old beastie. God knows what time I finished last night, but managed to put all this wiring back together, and we've got the engine turned over. We're going to see if it'll start. These things usually just start straight away, cracking engine, which is one of the reasons I use them. So here we go. Ignition on. Electric fuel pump, you can hear that running. It's alive! Tiny bit more power than a 696 KTM. There you go.
I'm now back on my way up to see Chris, where he's going to give me the first look at the world's craziest enduro bike.
So this is it, the moment of truth. We're back at Chris's workshop and he's about to show me the world's craziest enduro bike. Let's go for it, Chris. That's insane.
There you go.
It doesn't look like a real thing. Look at that. That sounds insane.
7 minute in.
Yeah. It didn't look possible at all.
No, it doesn't look out of place though, does it?
I wouldn't say that. It looks like an absolute freak of a bike, doesn't it? But it doesn't look like it's unrideable, does it? Yeah, it doesn't feel like a big, heavy adventure bike, does it?
Yeah, very deceptive. It's not the big, fat BMW adventure bike.
Yeah, GS or something.
Most people are used to. It's more.
I think I do need a step ladder though. Right. I need to do some
Go
stretches
on,
before you
go
get
on, come on.
We're trying to come up with a name for this because
Yeah,
you've got the KTM Super Enduro, so you can call it the KTM Super Enduro.
I thought
Extreme Enduro.
I thought the KTM Stupid Enduro.
Yeah.
So with the name thing, I think we should ask the people watching to give us some suggestions of names. We've come up with the KTM Super Enduro, the KTM Extreme Enduro, Super Extreme Enduro, and the KTM Stupid Enduro. So let us know your suggestions in the comments down below, and we'll christen this thing by the time we get out riding it next time. It looks like, do you know in Super Mario when he has one of the mushrooms and he grows massive? That's this bike. So that's it, the 150 horsepower off-road beast, ready to lose its virginity in the dirt. The next time we see the world's craziest enduro bike, it will be at the track. So make sure you subscribe to 999 Laser to never miss a video. Once again, we do need to say a massive thank you to Muck Off for supporting this project. They've got an awesome selection of products, so check them out in the link in the description down below. As always though guys, I've been Max, this has been 999 Laser. Remember to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you next time.